Yay. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Welcome to the Alphabets Football Show special. I'm your host, Marcus the Alphabets, where we're taking about an hour and a half, 2 hour long journey to discuss our favorite sport in the whole wide world, which is football. But you know how I like to start the show? I like to introduce my lovely co-host. I call her Mona, but y'all can call her Die Hard. What's up, Mona?
Hey guys, what's up? I'm waiting to see what all these picks that we did.
It's been hard. It's been a really hard draft, a lot of stuff, and we're seeing some stuff today that we'll get to. But we got a special guest on the show tonight. We got our newest admin, Jared Muller from Pylon Podcast.
Yeah, I don't run the podcast anymore, but I had a Pylon to Pylon, which was college football. And
I got
had
you.
an MMA podcast.
And MMA, me and you done a little bit of combat sports stuff together. He's having some technical difficulties there, so he's not going to be able to show his face, but he pops in from time to time.
That was not a beer; it was a Sprite.
Yeah, Mona. That's. I'm sure you got that laced up over there. But just make sure you're doing a 1-for-1. Make sure you get you some ice water to go with it too. But we're going to finish up the last. You got the water. You got the water. You got the water right here.
Happy Friday, everybody!
It's Friday. I know. A lot of people are watching NBA playoffs and stuff. But we're trying to get our mock draft in. We've been doing this for 4 years. Every year we get our mock draft in. We're consistent. We're going to do that. And Thursday, when the actual draft is going on, that's my birthday. And I can assure you, I will not be here. I will be somewhere. Not here, doing something.
But he will be watching the draft. Guarantee that.
I'll be multitasking. I will be multitasking. But everybody who's here, you like football, you like talking football, get in the comment section. Tell us here. Me and Mona, we're gonna do our draft picks, our last 10 picks. There's not 32 picks this year. The Miami Dolphins had to end up forfeiting their first round pick because of the Tom Brady collusion stuff. They were tampering, so we only got 31 picks, and Mona's Steelers actually got the first pick in the second draft, which is number 32 this year. It normally would have been 33. So I mean, you might be getting a first round talent there at 32, or use as some ammunition to move up or whatever. So we're gonna do a little bit of news and notes. Not a lot of stuff going on, but there was some late breaking stuff that it disappointed me. I'm like, guys, come on, man. Come on. We just saw the whole Calvin Ridley ordeal. He was suspended all of last year. You can't gamble on football. You can't do it. We've seen this time and time again. Pete Rose is banned from baseball forever for gambling. Now, it wasn't the same. He was actually betting, he was doing all kind of stuff. You can't do this. Now, this guy, Jameson Williams, awesome player, Alabama, speedster, Then he gets hurt. Wasn't he there? Wasn't he there the year that they lost to Georgia? He was there when they lost to Georgia. He got hurt, and Mechie got hurt. Waddle got hurt, right?
Yeah.
100%. Then you get to the NFL, you're still hurt. You missed most of last year, your rookie season, because you were coming off of the injury from you got hurt late in the season in your last season in college, and then you get this crap and you miss a third of the season. So NFL suspended 5 players, including Lions. I mean, he's their number one. For all intents and purposes, you're their number one. Some people might argue Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think Mona, Amon-Ra St. Brown could probably hold it down for a little bit, but you got this guy in the first round to be your guy, and he's going to miss a third of the season. There's
traded up to get him.
Yeah,
they traded up, right? I'm pretty
sure. Yeah. I mean, this guy is a speed demon. That track team that Alabama had with Waddle and Devontae Smith and Mechie, and it was this guy, and your professional career is starting off kind of shaky. So him, CJ Moore, and Quintez Cephas plus Commander Shaka Toney are suspended indefinitely. At least 1 year, and I was reading up on it. The guys that are suspended indefinitely, they can apply for reinstatement after a year. So they're out this year. They're out.
I saw CJ Moore and Quintez Cephas got released too.
Oh, did they? Yeah,
two of them. Maybe Shaka Toney as well, but I know those two did.
We can go on the draft. The draft is next week. We're doing this now. I mean, this really kind of changes it because the Lions got this number 6 pick. We can go. We can go.
There's some names there.
And Jibba Smith. We could go Jordan Addison. We could go. Quentin Is it Quentin Jefferson? I mean, all of these receivers is like, well, you're not going to be here, and we're
Quentin Johnson.
Quentin Johnson. We have an opportunity to win the NFC North, and one of our best players is not going to be playing for us for a third of the season. So it's just. It's what do you think? What do you think about this, Jared? What's your take on this?
I just think it's stupid.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, you're good. Go ahead.
I'm lagging, so go ahead.
Oh, okay. I think it's stupid from multiple angles. Like Jameson Williams got in trouble because he was gambling in the facility. He was gambling in the Lions facility. That's just stupid. Like, what are you doing? And I just don't get it in general, even outside of like the gambling and everything. Like, know the rules of the career path you're choosing. Yeah. Know the rules and regulations backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
And just don't do things that don't violate. Just don't violate. Simple.
Yeah.
I made a comment to Marcus earlier today. Some of these kids came from nothing. Did great in sports. Make it to the NFL, and I think they lose their minds because they got a little bit of money in their pockets now, and I think they lose their direction.
I'm a mentor for a certain program. I'm not going to mention it here on the air, but part of what we do is we mentor young men. Of course, we're not mentoring NFL players, but I believe older gentlemen should be mentoring these young guys. And every year before the draft, guys like, I remember Chris Carter used to, for the rookie symposium, and he would talk, guys, watch your money. Don't be drinking. Don't be having weapons. Don't be with a bunch of women out there. Don't be out past midnight. They would be telling these guys that had gotten in trouble, had a little bit of a troubled past, and they would have these guys come in there and talk to these kids. And it's like, constantly talking to them, because it's like you can very easily ruin your career. This is something you've been working on your entire life, trying to get to the highest level. You have reached the pinnacle of your profession. Not a lot of people get to reach it. Not a lot of people get to reach the pinnacle of their profession, the best of the best of the best. And you see a lot of guys. You see a guy like, you see some of these guys that just ruin their career, the Johnny Manziels, just lose Josh Gordon. You know, and he's over in the XFL just balling out, you know, but it's like, dude, you could have been like nearly a Hall of Famer, and you ruined your career. You look at a guy like Henry Ruggs, you know, one of his teammates
play in the NFL now.
You kill somebody, you know. It's because you have a momentary lapse, and it's like there's no coming back. There's some stuff. There's no I'm sorry or I didn't mean to do that. It's like you're done. Get out of here. Get your stuff, and that's it. And then you get this stigma on you that you're just a bad person, and your career is over. And I just hate to see stuff like that. So
I think ultimately, yes, Jameson Williams being suspended for 6 games is not a great start for sure. But I think with the draft picks that they have, I mean, they're going to have to change their draft minds now.
Yeah.
But they do have the 6th and the 18th pick. But they also have the 48th pick in the 2nd round. So, I mean, it's still a lot of players off the board. But I think they should be able to rearrange their picks now to maybe, hopefully, find somebody that can come in and help instantly.
I think I mocked Jalen Carter to them. I believe I mocked Jalen Carter to them when with the 6th pick. I was like, he would be very good on the others, you know, playing next to Aiden Hutchinson. But now, I mean, that changes. You know, do you go wide receiver with the 1st pick, not knowing, you know, what's going to happen with this guy? So stop gambling on games, guys. You have a very short career. You know, average guy. I think the average length of a NFL career is like 3 or 4 years average. I know there's guys like Tom Brady that play 23 years. Everybody's not Tom Brady playing 23 years, or Ben Roethlisberger. What did he play? 18 years, Mona? 18, 19 years. Yeah. You know, not everybody gets to do that. Some of these guys, they don't even get their 2nd contract. Some of these guys don't finish their 1st contract, you know, so stop gambling on games. Speaking of a gamble, Jared, I'm going to need you to explain this one to me. So, long time Patriots defensive coordinator. Then he was the Lions head coach for a little bit. Then he went last year. It was
back to the Patriots.
The Patriots offensive coordinator.
Yeah, that made no sense.
I didn't get that one. Bill Belichick, I would never normally question you. I don't know what the hell would possess you to make Matt Patricia, who's been a defensive coordinator and a defensive coach his entire career, you make him into your offensive coordinator with Mac Jones and Zappy. I don't know why you would do that, but that's what you did. So he's been hired as like an assistant coach.
I think they said like a special defensive assistant, maybe something like that.
I think he said top defensive assistant.
Something like that.
I don't know what the hell, you know. Patriots.
What do you think about that one, Jared?
I actually don't mind the move because you're not putting him in a position of power really or anything. You're bringing him in. I think he's a good defensive mind at least. He just doesn't. He's not meant to run the show. He's not really meant to coach a defense. He's more. I don't know. I like the role that we gave him because he has a lot of creativity. I feel like I don't know.
Jared
doesn't like it too well.
I see that. I see he's covering his face. And Jared over here, it's like he's kind of.
It's worth a try to me. That's why I don't mind it. I'm not like, oh my god, we got Matt Patricia. This is awesome, but like it's worth a try. Get a defensive special assistant. Like, why not?
To me, defensively is why y'all weren't in that Super Bowl.
Yeah, the pass rush. It was 100% the D line. That was the biggest reason.
Dalton said, "I bet Slay is not happy."
Like Jalen Hurts made his big mistake, but he made up for it.
Then he played. He played with him in Detroit and pissed him off real good. So yeah. I don't know. Maybe they can kiss and make up or whatever.
He's also just a smart guy too. So it's not always a bad thing to have another smart mind in a.
In the room. I got you on that. You know, he's not the defensive coordinator, so
no.
We'll see.
Wouldn't make him a defensive coordinator.
And dang it, I don't think we got no Bills fans or no Dolphins fans, but
No, it's amazing. It's amazing, but it's okay. We'll still have it up in the group, and we'll have it up on YouTube in a couple of days.
We're going to discuss this.
So I want this myth to be broken, and it'll
Thank
probably
you.
some of you all, we could show you stuff over and over and over again, and you're still not going to accept it because it's just it doesn't fit your narrative, and there are certain players that you just like better. Look, I like to, and I just got done going back and forth with Jay Redon, my Dolphins guy, because he was just like, oh yeah, we're going to win a division, and okay, we're going to have this awesome offense, and I'm like, it doesn't matter. How is your offense going to be so great when your quarterback can't stay healthy? You don't usually, when you have concussions don't get better. Boxers, Jarrett, me and you, we've done combat sports shows.
Yep.
Guys that get knocked out easily, they don't just get to a point in their careers like, oh, I don't get knocked out anymore. If you have a glass jaw or you're susceptible to concussions, it doesn't get better as you get older. I was getting knocked out in my 20s, so now I'm in my 30s and I'm not going to get knocked out anymore. No, it gets worse. You pretty much hit 3, 4 concussions last year, 2 in 4 days. Now, that's the only knock that I really have on him. But Tua is deadly accurate. He's really good with the short to intermediate passing game, and he has such good touch that he's the best deep ball thrower in the league. Some of y'all don't realize that. Does he have Josh Allen's arm? No. Does he have Justin Herbert's arm? No. Does he have Patrick Mahomes' arm? No. But he has a good enough arm, and he has good ball placement and good anticipation.
Yep.
And here it is right here. So please stop with he can't throw the deep ball. Does he have a rocket launcher? No.
Look, I watched this kid play in Alabama. And yes, I know he had Jalen Waddle. He had
Ruggs and Devontae Smith.
And, he had Najee Harris who could catch the ball out of the backfield.
Yep.
Let's understand that his accuracy is one of his greatest feats as a quarterback, in my opinion. And he does have great field vision. And when he gets to know his receivers like he does now, he is able to get that ball to where he knows his receiver can get to. I.e., of course, Tyreek Hill, and the thing is he played with Waddle. So I just don't understand where anybody could possibly say, oh, well, he can't throw the deep ball. When I watched him get concussed against the Bills, and when he came back out of the locker room, he threw about a 45-yard pass down the field that ended up being a touchdown. So don't tell me this kid cannot throw the ball. Yes, I worry about his concussion. He even debated retiring. Yeah. And I understood what he said about his son not being old enough to understand what his daddy does. And I get that. But I do worry, and I feel like if he ends up with the same kind of thing happening this season, I think he does retire.
Over or under 12 games that he plays.
I think he actually goes over.
Yeah, I think he's over.
More than 12 games.
I think the helmet's going to help. The new helmet that they've released, I think that's going to help. I think even though people were laughing because he took judo to learn how to fall, I think that actually helps, because if anybody has done martial arts, that's one of the things that you do learn when you're competing. So to say judo is not going to help him, it will.
I want to go on wax and say that I root for this kid, and yes, me and I keep saying Jared, me and Jay keep going back and forth on it, and I want it to be known, and I want you to hear this, bonus. So if you hear somebody say it that I don't like Tua, I do like Tua. I know I've made jokes and said he's got the bone density of a calcium deprived toddler. I get that. I've said that. Yes, I have said that. He's got bad bones. He's easily concussed, but I root for the guy. No one's questioning his toughness. No one's questioning his heart. He's a pretty humble guy, a good kid from what I can see. You know,
Oh yeah, he's always been
real soft spoken and seems to have a really good family and stuff like that. I worry about him though. I worry about him because I'm just like, it gets to a point when you keep getting knocked out, and it's like, I hate to see you like that. And that when he was laid out in that Cincinnati game, it was scary, man.
Yeah.
We talk about talk about the DeMar Hamlin injury, you know, where they stopped that game when DeMar Hamlin had basically the heart attack on the field, and a lot. I mean, people thought he was dead, you know, and to see him when he was
actually.
Yeah, you know, and seeing him laying on the field, reaching for the air, you know, with his fingers crumpled up, it was a scary sight, man. So I wish the kid best of luck. I don't want anybody saying that I don't like him. I just worry for him, and you know, one more bad hit like that, he's going to really have to start thinking about it. If he hasn't already. Well, he has thought about it. I just think it would be even more. You know, it would be a little bit stronger urge to leave the game. So, speaking of guys that are struggling, there's been several teams looking to into a potential Trey Lance trade. You know, they've done pretty good. The 49ers, you got to give credit where credit's due. Amanda Lopez, I know you're sitting out there watching. She's my 49er fan that I see in here. John Lynch, they've done a really good job, and Kyle Shanahan, they've done a really good job going hand in hand, drafting players. They've done really good, you know, bringing in a Christian McCaffrey and getting a Deebo Samuel re-signed, and you know, they've made some really good moves, you know, but they missed on this one. I mean, let's just call it what it is. Trey Lance, they missed on it. You got this kid at 3. I believe they moved up to get him at 3, and he just, for whatever reasons, you know, it's hard to. It's got to be a perfect situation. We've seen some good quarterbacks get ruined because they went to a bad system, or they had a bad coach, or they had a bad offensive line. David Carr, and the kid gets ruined, or it's a bad system that doesn't really fit him, or he has a bunch of offensive coordinators, or you know, it just seems, you know, it's always something with this guy. He gets hurt, or this or that, and then Brock Purdy comes in and he takes over, you know, and so, you know, they're looking into moving him. I don't know what he would be worth. I mean, do you really know if this kid can play? But, you know, Mona, I want to ask you, like, what do you think would be the best scenario for him? Is this guy a bust so far, in your opinion? Where do you think would be a good spot for him to land? Or
I can't say that he's a bust. I can't say he's a bust yet, because before he got hurt in that game last year, he was actually looking pretty good.
He played one game. He got hurt in the Bears game, the first game that was in the mud.
But I'm just saying, he looked pretty good till he got hurt.
Yeah.
So I can't call him a bust yet because, like I said, I had to give him that opportunity.
What do you think would be a good place for him? I mean, you see all of these, you know, you see a team like the Colts, you see a team like the Texans. You see
on the cheap, you know. We don't know what Russell Wilson's going to do. We have no clue what he's going to do.
Yeah. Jared, what do you think about this whole Trey Lance thing? The whole situation. Where do you think would be some good fits for him? What do you think has been the problem with him since he's come in the league? What's your opinion on that?
I think it really just comes down to the health, because, like Ramona said, he looked pretty good when he was playing. He's barely had any he hasn't had a big snap count at all, so we really haven't even seen him develop over a rookie season. I liked him coming out of college, and I also liked a lot Matt Corral coming out of college. I think, if this is just me, like a fantasy scenario, if I was the Panthers, I'd go trade like a third, maybe a fourth or something, because he just got drafted. We don't know. He's still a mystery. Like, he was just a top 3 pick. So there's still value there, I think, like a third round value at least. So get him, and then they could just spend their first pick on something else.
But we've kind of seen scenarios like this where guys get drafted fairly high. What round was Matt Corral drafted? Do you remember?
He was drafted in
like a third rounder, right?
Fifth or sixth.
Okay, does
or
Matt
fifth, I
Corral
think.
prevent? Having Matt Corral prevent you? Having Matt Corral does not prevent you from drafting Bryce Young or CJ or.
Oh
CJ.
no, definitely not.
And that's what I'm saying. They got the number one pick in the
quarterbacks.
draft. I mean, they got the number one. I'm not passing up an opportunity to draft CJ Stroud or Bryce Young because I got Matt Corral. They kind of did the same thing. If you remember back in the day, I think it was 2010, the Panthers drafted Jimmy Clausen. Y'all remember that out of Notre Dame? And then the very next year, they drafted Cam Newton, number one. Drafting Jimmy Clausen is not going to prevent, Heisman Trophy winner, national champion, and all of that. So
I don't think he'll go to the Panthers. I think they're obviously going to draft a quarterback. They are going to draft a quarterback. They gave up all that, but that's what I would do. If I was the Panthers, I'd go get Trey Lance, let him compete with Matt Corral, and save your draft capital because I don't think any of these
use that number one
pick
use that number one pick on what, offensive lineman, a weapon.
Well, I would have just never traded up the first pick, but if I had to, you just end up getting like a Jalen Carter or something. I wouldn't personally, but that's if you had the first pick.
Okay. Got you. Okay. Good luck to this guy. So, excuse me. So this week we saw Jared's guy get paid. He's the highest paid player in the league, Jalen Hurts. Congratulations to him. We talked about this on the last show. Well deserved. Another good kid, Alabama kid, well mannered, a leader. Just took that job and just really ran with it. Despite all of the adversity that he went through in college and getting there and being a second round pick, and people saying, his first couple of years that he couldn't throw the ball, he wasn't accurate, he was a runner, he was just an athlete. There were people saying that. And you said it. My Cowboys were trying to draft him, and as usual, the Eagles jumped in front of us and took players that we want, like they'll probably do. Bijan Robinson. But anyways, so he got paid. So we got
Joe Burrow's the next one to get paid because actually Lamar Jackson got paid, but he didn't accept the contract, which was his mistake. And I don't know what the hell he's thinking. And even if he's his own agent, he still should have some people out there who can crunch the damn numbers and made him realize that he was going to make pretty good money every year for 6 years.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I just don't know. Or take the 3-year deal. They got the TV money coming up and stuff. I understand if these quarterbacks want to take a shorter deal. It's like, okay, I'm gonna get two bites at this apple for the price of one. I'll get a short deal that makes me a lot of money in 3 years, and then I can go back to them and be like, my contract is up. I need a new contract, But I think now I would have to probably say I still think Lamar gets paid because I believe that he's already pretty much said I'm not playing on the franchise tag. So that means that he's going to get a new contract. So I still think Lamar is next. I think seeing Jalen get paid is kind of like some cold ice water thrown in his face while he's sleeping.
Especially after I explain the comparisons.
Yeah, So I still think that Lamar gets paid, and then I think probably Burrow. It's tough because Burrow and Herbert, weren't they in the same draft? No.
Yeah.
They were in the same draft, right?
Those two and Jalen Hurts.
And Jalen Hurts. Okay, so yeah, I would probably say Burrow after that, and then probably they'll find wherever Hurts and Burrow is at. I would say, so who deserves more money? Do you think Burrow jumps in front of
Burrow? Should be the highest paid besides Mahomes.
Mahomes now he's already he's getting paid $45 million a year. He's like,
that's lovely. That's
like
lovely
6th or 7th now. But the thing that Mahomes is doing, I think he's playing it smart because he's like, I'm still one of the highest paid quarterbacks. but I already got 2 Super Bowls. And his deal is like 10 years. Wasn't it like
10
10
years,
years,
yeah.
$450 million a year, like 45 million on average a year. So he's locked in, and they could just kind of move money around. So
He went out and bought ownership in the Kansas City Royals too. So
hey,
like
smart guy,
he's
smart guy. So these are the
Burrow's about to get 60, honestly, a year, because it's even more than just him being that good. It's he's been an Ohio legend for like it's just everything about the situation. It was
I
such a
don't know about
perfect
60.
situation.
I don't know if I'm ready to go 60. I say probably 50.
He's getting more than Jalen Hurts. That was
Yes,
the biggest thing with
yes.
this was the
60.
race.
I don't know about 60. I say
I'm thinking
I was saying
54,
it before we even
54,
signed Jalen
55 million.
Hurts. You
54,
got
55.
the Chargers, Eagles, and Bengals they should have been racing to see who was going to get first to pay their guy, because it's only going to go up now. Herbert's going
Yeah,
to get more than Hurts.
you got a guy who went.
That's in this year.
They might if Herbert probably will fall there around 48, because that would make him below Aaron Rodgers, below Russell Wilson. I'm not paying him more than I'm not paying him more than Super Bowl champions. I'm just not. I'm not doing that. But you just never know with these teams. They want to lock up these guys. So
This
speaking
is the
of,
conversation I want to have.
yeah. So a lot of people were upset, and there's a lot of discussions that go on behind closed doors that we just don't know about. We just report what we hear, and there was a lot of anger going around. Oh, the Ravens are screwing him over. And it's kind of coming to light that
They weren't.
he kind of screwing himself, because he's not, and that's a hard thing to say. And I get it, trying to be your own agent and all of that stuff. There's people out there, this is what they do. They're agents. And a lot of these people are like lawyers. These agents, they're lawyers. You see the team, the all-female team management team that Jalen Hurts has, and they got, there's people out there, this is what they do. They negotiate contracts, and you not so much, and you're kind of screwing yourself. And then there's some animosity that kind of comes on, because it's like, okay, we were trying to negotiate with you in good faith, and now it's like, okay, you know what? We're just going to keep you on the franchise tag, because now you're starting to become a damn headache, or give me 2 first-round picks and y'all can have this dude,
So
and we'll go.
Let's play hypotheticals.
Okay.
Let's play hypotheticals. If Lamar had accepted the contract that he was offered, he would have been right with Jalen Hurts. Hurts is going to get $51 million a year. He would have been getting $50 million a year. Now, setting aside Hurts was going to make for his final year of his contract $4.3 million, and setting aside the $23.5 million that Lamar Jackson was due to make with his 5th-year option. Lamar Jackson was due to make as his 5th-year option $23.5 million. This is the new money, the 5-year extension. They both were offered 5-year extensions. So the new money for the 5-year extensions for Hurts was $51 million per year, and Jackson was $50 million per year. Now let's keep it buck. Jalen Hurts went to a Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson hasn't been to one yet. Now they're even struggling to win playoff games.
Well, part because he's not playing, which is another part of it. It's like, okay, you haven't finished the past 2 seasons, and I have to take that into consideration.
But they're still offering him good money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Less than what Jalen Hurts is going to be making.
Yeah, and so now we kind of there's things that go on that we don't know about, and there's been a lot of negative commentary.
More numbers to crunch for you.
Okay.
Based on the Hurts deal, based on the metric, Hurts deal is a little bit better.
Okay.
Kinda. But total injury guarantees, that the total amount of the guarantees that apply if you have a career-ending injury and you can't play, that's the money at signing. the 180 million for Jalen Hurts, it would have been 175 million for Lamar Jackson. Again, Hurts is a little bit better. Okay. Here's where it gets interesting. You got the full guarantee at the signing, the full guarantee. Now you take everything into account. This is where the 5-year deal becomes the 6-year deal.
Okay.
And the money you were due to make spills into that 6 year. But still, the moment you sign, Jalen Hurts gets 110. Guaranteed 110.
Guaranteed cash money.
Jackson gets 133 million guaranteed, fully guaranteed. The moment he signs his contract. So he actually got more money than Jalen Hurts if he took the contract. Then here's your key. If you're Lamar Jackson, you say no to Jalen Hurts' offer because the offer he got was a little bit better. The full money guarantee. Maybe if he had said yes, the offer that was made by the Ravens, then, but like I said, I don't think he's not getting any help crunching the numbers to figure out what that contract actually was going to bring him.
Yeah.
So then you go, after 1 year, they're not going to cut you.
No.
And Jalen Hurts, of course, has a no trade contract.
Yeah, which is a great thing to have. So does Aaron Rodgers, by the way, for all your people to just we'll just trade him. Just throwing that out there first.
Exactly. So after giving $133 million fully guaranteed at the signing bonus, they're definitely not going to cut you.
No.
If they're giving you that money as fully guaranteed, they're not going to cut you. And probably 2 or 3 years down the road, they're not going to cut you until maybe third.
Because they would be in salary cap hell. They would be in absolute salary cap hell. There's no way that they can get rid of you. The NFL contracts are
money. You're getting all that extra money, and for Hurt, it's another 16.5. If you look at the numbers,
it was a great deal. It was a great deal for Hurts. I'm starting to think, and I don't know if y'all will agree with this. I'm kind of starting to think that Lamar's kind of sabotaging this. Is that fair?
I feel like he sabotaged himself.
Where he's like, yeah, it was a good deal, but now I'm just at the point, get me the hell up out of here. I'm kind of like.
Dennis says he thinks Lamar's doing good holding out, but Dennis, it's not a typo. Lamar, his fully guaranteed money, if he had signed the deal, was $35 million more than Jalen Hurts. It was $168 million practical guarantee at the signing that Lamar said no to. Hurts said yes to 126.5 practically guaranteed. So why is it good he's holding out? I don't understand that. And that's the key.
And then the other thing,
the cutting, they're not going to cut you.
No, and here's the thing about it. To me, they're showing good faith and trying. I don't know what we think about Odell Beckham Jr. at this point, but they have made an effort to try to go out and get you a weapon.
All right, so you know what another deal is too. Looking at the cash flow, by the end of the year one, Hurts is getting $60 million. Lamar would have got 87.6 with the damn deal that the Ravens offered him. So if you put those same offer in front of Lamar Jackson that Jalen Hurts said yes to, my guess is he's going to say no. But why did he say no at $87.6 million after year one?
I think the closer we get to the season where he sees, because here's the thing, I think we all pretty much know that Joe Burrow's going to jump over that. He's going to jump over that. You're not going to get anything near Joe Burrow. So to me, you're falling right in line.
I disagree with you because I do agree with one thing Dennis said.
What's that?
The Cincinnati Bengals are cheap.
Yes, they are. They've always been like that.
Yep.
And the thing is like, as bad as y'all been for so long, for 50 years, I mean, they had a little stretch in there. I think they went to the Super Bowl in '89. I think Boomer Esiason versus Joe Montana. I think it was '89 or so. But for the most part, the Steelers and the Ravens have run that division. And then in the '80s, the Browns. You know, you've been pretty terrible until recently. You had a little bit of success with Carson Palmer and a little bit with Andy Dalton and Chad Ochocinco and all of that. But for the most part, for the past 50 years,
But they really didn't. Because when they did have those stacked teams, they were still splitting games,
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, yeah, you haven't won anything, you know, and for you to finally, you know, get to a point where you have a legit quarterback. I think he's the second best quarterback. We can have that debate or whatever. I just posted up a slide on that, you know, Patrick Mahomes and then Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow's the second best quarterback in the league, but you know, you got to pay these guys. You got to pay these guys. This is not the time, as bad as you've been, to try to be a cheapskate. Jared, jump in there real quick. What do you think about the whole situation?
I know just how my brain works.
Okay.
Like if I'm sitting there and somebody is right in front of me and telling me you are automatically going to be given like 80 something $million, like within a week or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be guaranteed another like $120 million. And all you have to do is play football.
So
how do you say no? That's why I think it has to be something other than money. That's where my brain goes to.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's where I'm at the point where is he just at the point where he's like, get me out of here. I don't want to be here no more. We just, you know, you get to a point and it's just like, I just don't want to be here no more.
And I mentioned that to you earlier when we were talking, Marcus.
Yeah.
I think there is
some animosity,
real big animosity that's been going on for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And to be fair, considering the fact he hasn't finished the last two seasons on the field,
yeah,
I think what the Baltimore Ravens offered him was pretty damn good.
And then when you look at them going to get a guy like Roquan Smith, and look, Roquan Smith he's an incredible player, but you're going to get an off-ball linebacker instead of pay me? I don't know. Until we get to this point, now you want to try to negotiate, but I'm like, why not go? You know, when AJ Brown was you know, they were trying to trade him. Why don't you try to make a move for that? When the 49ers were going back and forth with Deebo Samuel, why don't you try to go get a guy like Deebo Samuel? Right. Whenever the Cowboys were giving away Amari Cooper, that one still hurts for a 5th round pick, and you're not in on that.
Yeah.
Why would you not be? Why would you not be in that conversation? Considering when Devontae Adams and look, I know he was hell bent on going to play with David Carr, but let me tell you something. When somebody, I'm not interested. We'll double what they're paying you. So I'm going. A lot of people, they say what they won't do until they see a bag of money in front of their face, and their whole, you know, all of that, you know, stubbornness goes out the window. I'll never sell my house. This house has meant a lot to me. I paid $200,000 for this house, and I have a lot of memories, and I raised my kids here. We'll give you $400,000 for it. Sold. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, there's no more conversation anymore because I'm like, okay, you know, it's like, people say that, you know, that money doesn't make.
Marcus, you love your house. If I offered you $400,000 for it,
so it's not going to be no more conversation.
Yep.
Come get it. It's all yours. As a matter of fact, with the $400,000, you can have the furniture. You can keep the
Mandalorian poster.
You can keep the Mandalorian poster. You can have my fantasy football championship belt. Anything, okay, dear, it's all yours. When do y'all need me out? As soon as y'all put the direct deposit, or you send me a cashier's check, I'm out of here. So, you know, you got to be in those conversations. So this is part 3 of our 2023 Alphabets Football Show mock draft special with my lovely co-host, Ramona Diehard. For last Friday, gosh, Mona, we've done 3 shows.
I am here.
But we've done 3 shows. This is our 3rd show in 7 days. So we did one last Friday. We did one on Wednesday, and we're doing one tonight. So we might do one next week, like a post draft show or something. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. I'll post something up. I'll do a something. But here's our last 10 picks. Jared, you jump in when you see some of these. Tell us your opinion on that. Mona, do we have the picks 1 through 21? Is there any way you can pull those up or no?
I can't pull them up. No, I really can't.
No,
I have a general idea because I watched.
Okay. And I'll explain it. Marcus, why are you picking this guy? Well, because the guy, he's gone already or whatever. So our last one was at 21. My last, which was the LA Chargers, and I believe I gave them
B. John Robinson. Yeah,
which hurt me. See, and everybody knows that I really want B. John Robinson. Dennis keeps saying I don't want B. John Robinson. I think he's a damn liar. I think if B. John Robinson's there at 10, if B. John Robinson's there at 10, you want him, Jared? You're an Eagles fan too. If B. John's there at 10, you want him?
So for me this year with the Eagles, this is probably the best draft spot we've been in a long time, just for the fact that we have a pretty complete roster. There's very few holes. We have the 10th pick. We have another first-round pick. Like we're in a good position where we can kind of go anywhere. We could trade up, down, whatever, draft whoever. And as long as they're a good prospect, or I think they're a good prospect, I don't care, really. So I would definitely like Bijan Robinson. I have him. 16 on my board. Overall, I like him.
By the way, I gave Chargers Dalton Kincaid.
But the Chargers would be a fantastic fit for him.
Oh man! Now you reset the clock on your running back, and now I can, if I really want to, I can trade Austin Eckler.
That's what I would do if I was a Chargers. I would trade him on draft night.
If Bijan's there at 21 and I draft Bijan Robinson at 21, I'm getting on the phone and I'll be like, who's interested in getting Austin Eckler? Because I believe somebody would give up some assets for him.
Somebody would give a second-round pick the next night. They'll be like, all right, let's get a pick early tomorrow night.
I'll tell you something else, too. If Bijan's gone, if Bijan's gone by 21, I wouldn't have a problem with them drafting Jahmyr Gibbs either.
I have you guys getting Jahmyr Gibbs in my mock draft.
Jared, this is why me and you. This is why right here, Jared. Me and you.
I'm not a big mock drafter, just because
I'm not telling you who I had Jens picking.
No. Okay, so let's get to 22. let's get to 22.
Baltimore Ravens on the clock.
Baltimore Ravens. The cornerbacks got wiped out, and I'm going to give y'all my reasoning behind this. I took Devin Witherspoon. Christian Gonzalez was gone. Joey Porter Jr. was gone. Those two guys, I have them pretty high up. Marcus Peters, they just released him. They might bring him back. The wide receivers were wiped out. I wanted to give them a wide receiver. I don't feel like there's a Jamar Chase in this draft. I don't feel like there's a Justin Jefferson in this draft. I just don't feel it. I don't think that there's that guy, that number one wide receiver type. I know you talk about Quentin Johnson. I heard you mention that, Jared. Yeah, I don't know. So I gave them their Marcus Peters replacement, a shutdown corner. He was the best corner on the board, in my opinion. Like I said, Christian Gonzalez gone, Joey Porter Jr. gone. I gave them Devin Witherspoon out of Illinois. Mona?
Well, I went with a cornerback as well.
Okay.
I'm like you, the receivers are pretty much gone. The ones that could actually step in and make a difference, I think. I gave him Deontay Banks. I love the way the kid plays. I just think that, he's a Baltimore kid as well. He's even though I think he's only like 6 foot tall, 197 pounds, he's still huge because
6'1" is pretty good.
Listen, this kid's got a 42-inch vertical and he ran a 4.35 40. And this kid can shift and move amazingly. Just watching some of his games last season, yeah, I got a little bit more into college football watching different games, just not just Alabama all the time, which is what I've always done. But anyway,
I
he's
feel
very
you.
fluid. He's very smooth to swivel. This kid is just amazing to be able to just turn around and see the ball immediately. The only weaknesses I feel like he has, um, I think he lacks some confidence, and I think that playing with the Baltimore defense, I think he would gain that confidence. So I gave him Deontay Banks.
Okay. But we'll see. We agree. We agree on the position. Jared, any issues with these picks or something that you would do different here?
No, I could see corner. I probably wouldn't go corner if I was the Ravens. So they picked up Trayvon Mullen, and I really like Trayvon Mullen, but I like his brother a lot, Tywan Mullen from Indiana. Like I have him very high on my board. He's a top 10 player for me.
Okay.
Very big sleeper call out there. But I could see them drafting him later, pairing him with Trayvon and then whoever else they have at corner. But I don't mind them going corner because it is a need for them.
Okay.
I would just have different prospects.
I like I said, I really
I
wanted
don't
to
dislike
see.
them. I like Weatherspoon. He's cool.
Yeah.
Like I'm good with him. Banks, I'm a little lower on, but I do still like him.
I
I
had
just
Devin
have
going
other
earlier,
corners
so
above them. That's all.
Yeah, he was already. And didn't you have Christian Gonzalez going too, Mona?
yep.
Yeah. See, I mean, some of this is just. Let me ask you real quick because he's still on the board. Is Cam Smith better than either of these guys? And y'all's
Yeah,
opinion?
I have Cam Smith higher than both. So
Both of
I
them.
do my 50, and then I do just miss the cut players. Like I do basically a top 75,
Cam Smith
but the
will be
last
gone by
25 aren't in.
17.
What
Cam
Okay.
Smith will be gone by 17 because I think we're gonna trade our 32nd pick up with the Bears. I think we're going to take Joey Porter because they're afraid he's going to be gone before 17, and I think we take Cam at number 17.
Yeah, I see you guys trading up with us at 10 and getting Joey Porter, but I also can see us picking Joey Porter because we love Penn State players, and it's just a perfect
Okay.
fit.
Okay. So we all pretty much agree. You know, cornerback is not too bad there. Okay. Moving on. So, wow, we agree here.
I
Okay.
did
So,
not think we were.
guys, I'm seeing this for the first time too. I send my picks to Mona, and she doesn't give me hers. So
I
I'm
had
seeing
all
this.
my picks. Listen, I had all my picks done.
Yeah.
I switched a couple in the first round to the second round, but I had all my picks done about 3 weeks ago.
Okay. I did a mock draft show with Ian Kelly. And since then, I've kind of changed up on some of this. And I'm going to do another draft, and we'll talk about it at the end. We're having a competition. Make sure that y'all get y'all's sheets in. I wish I would have got it. Maybe we'll get it taken care of. But we're having a competition. Whoever gets the most right in the first round, I'm going to give away a free T-shirt. So we're jumping to number 23, Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings got a lot of holes, in my opinion. You lose Patrick Peterson. I nearly gave them a corner. I nearly gave them Cam Smith. They just lost Patrick Peterson. Mona's Steelers picked him up.
Yep.
Their safety's getting a little bit older. Golden Domer. He's getting a little bit older. They're talking about maybe trading Dalvin Cook. Now they did pick up T.J. Hawkinson from the Lions, but I think that they have a huge hole on the other side of Justin Jefferson, and I gave them a weapon. I've never been sold on Kirk Cousins, but he's a starting quarterback. The quarterbacks are all wiped out. All of the top quarterback prospects are wiped out. So I gave them a weapon on the other side to replace Adam Thielen. I don't really feel like there's a generational type wide receiver in this draft. I know some people really like Njibba Smith. I know some people like Quentin Johnson. So this guy, speed demon, speed demon. I think he'd be a nice compliment to Justin Jefferson on the other side. So I gave them Zay Flowers. Mona?
Obviously, I gave him Zay as well. The only thing I have an issue with him because he's got some short arms and little hands.
Yeah.
I think that's one of his biggest weaknesses. But what I do like about him is that he can track and catch deep balls with above average. This kid is above average in catching the deep ball. He is fast, and a lot of times he'll outrun average just to be able to get to that deep ball. And I think that Justin Jefferson has to have help.
No doubt about it.
If they don't get Justin Jefferson help, I think it's going to be a long year for the Vikings.
And he's coming up on his contract too. And I think that he's like, y'all better get me some help over here because you see teams are kind of starting to give him that treatment. They're giving him that number one wide receiver treatment. And it's great. It's a sign of respect, but it ain't no fun when you got 3 and 4 guys hanging on you and you're getting followed all over the field, at least double teamed, and they don't respect the other guy on the other side of your team.
You want to know something else about Clay that I did watch?
Gabe Davis. What's that?
Things I've seen. If he gets out in the open field,
bye-bye.
Yep, he's gone. He has got a nose for that end zone.
Bye-bye. See you later. Bye-bye. I say bye-bye.
His coverage on him, he's gone.
Let's see here. JJ, this is a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. I totally agree with you, Dennis. What do you think, Jared? What do you think? Any issues with this pick?
I'm not that high on Zay Flowers, honestly. I don't mind them going receiver at all. I just feel like, I don't know, I get a lot of Jakeem Grant vibes from Zay Flowers. I don't know if you remember when he was coming out of Texas
Miami.
Tech. Or
Miami
yeah,
Dolphins.
Texas Tech, yeah.
I got you.
Just really, he's short, like short arms, small hands, and I feel like
Jaheim Grant, he was a
speed
guy. They picked him up for Miami back a few years back, and he never developed into a
player.
Okay, I just didn't hear the name of the player you said.
We're talking about Zay Flowers.
No, I meant the one that you were.
Jakeem Grant.
The Dolphins drafted him.
Who would you have gave him?
It would all depend who's available. So I have Quentin Johnson at 10 on my board. So in that theory, he wouldn't be there. He wouldn't be. Yeah. That would be a bad pick. If we're going receiver, I would have probably went corner because they got Byron Murphy, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have him and Cameron Dantzler, but other than that, they have like nothing. So I think going corner would benefit them.
I think it should play Justin Jefferson on both sides of the ball, whether play corner and wide receiver.
Yeah, right.
I nearly gave them Jalen Hyatt here out of Tennessee. I nearly gave them a speed guy on the other side, but I have Zay Flowers rated a little bit higher than Jalen Hyatt. I have him Zay Flowers a little. So that's what I did.
Cam Smith would have been off of my board. It would have been good value there because I have him as the 21st or 20th ranked prospect.
Okay,
so that would have been like right around the perfect value.
Okay, sounds good. So we agree there. 24. Jumping over to 24. Jags. Look, it's not just the Jags anymore.
Nope.
The Jacksonville Jaguars are legit. I have them as preseason favorites. They won a division last year, right? They won that division.
Yes.
And I think that they're going to win that division for the foreseeable future. We're starting to see Trevor Lawrence kind of emerge. You had a healthy running back over there. They got some weapons. We all kind of laughed at them picking up Christian Kirk, and he panned out. And Evan Ingram, he's been injury prone. He was injury prone with the Giants. I think they franchise tagged him. He had probably his best year. So the offense is kind of picking up steam. It's the offense is looking really good. They had the first pick last year. They picked up the defensive tackle. I didn't think he should have went number one. I thought they should have went Aiden Hutchinson number one. But they went Trey. What was his name?
Trayvon Walker.
Trayvon Walker. If they went number one, I would have went Aiden Hutchinson, but that's neither here nor
Yeah, I
there.
wasn't high on Trayvon at all.
I wasn't either. I thought Aiden Hutchinson was better. That's what they chose. But the defense was okay, so I gave them. Keely Ringo.
It's Collie.
Collie Ringo. That's who I went with there. I'm going to stay on the defensive side of the ball. I think they're pretty solid on. Now, I nearly went Jahmyr Gibbs here. I think that they still need that 1-2 punch. I like the kid that they got out of Clemson, but he's been a little bit injured. He missed.
The reason why was because I had to use him so much the year before when Etienne was out.
Well, when he was still in college, but they still had James Robinson at the time. James Robinson's a 1,000-yard rusher. I nearly went running back here. I thought I nearly gave them Jahmyr Gibbs here, but I decided to go Keely Ringo over there. I could have won a bunch of different places. I could also see them maybe trading out of this pick, but this is who I gave them Keely Ringo. Go ahead, Mom.
I gave them a tight end because I think they need a tight end for that damn team. I think I like Michael Mayer. I like this kid, and it's just you took him off the board 11 through 21. I think.
Okay.
I didn't. I think this kid is a great fit down there, and I think he gives.
Okay.
The quarterback a great security blanket.
If you talk about, like I was saying, they got Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram played very well last year. But I think if you pair Evan Ingram with Michael Mayer, you talk about your two tight end set. You got an echo over there really bad. You got a two tight end set.
I muted it just for a second.
With a two tight end set with Michael Mayer and Evan Ingram, I think you're cooking with bacon grease over there. So, but he's off of my board already. Michael Mayer was already gone, so obviously I wasn't able to pick him. But if he's there, Lord, I mean that would be very devastating. Very devastating.
You know why they got beat, right? In the playoffs.
Why?
Experience.
Yeah,
Experience.
Yeah, you got to pay your dues. You don't usually go in just the first round, your first time in the playoffs, and you just go on a run. Usually, you got to get beat up a little bit and get battle tested. You beat the Chargers. I mean, that's not, you went against one of your contemporaries in Justin Herbert. You beat him head to head. And I think that they're just getting better. I think, as they get more experience, I think they're going to dominate that division. And with more experience and some more weapons, I think that they're going to be just fine. And getting a weapon like this guy, goodness gracious, that would be pretty devastating. Jared, what do you think?
Oh, I tried to unmute him.
Is it still
Nope.
echoing?
Okay, you sound good there. You sound good. I was getting a real bad echo. Go ahead, Jared.
All right. I think Michael Mayer wouldn't be a bad pick here at all. He's my third tight end, but I have him in like my top 35. I think I'm like 36, something like that. So I still think he's a very good player. And he would help that Jaguars offense. More weapons for Trevor.
Yep.
Sorry, Marcus. Do you like Ringo, or is it just you're thinking about what they might do? Because I don't want to have to apologize to you.
No.
I don't like Ringo at all.
Okay, you don't like Ringo at all? He's another one of those players, just like Jalen Carter. I've seen Jalen Carter has been one of the Nolan Smith has been very hard to Me and Dennis were debating about this. He's like, Marcus, how the hell do you have this guy ranked? He had 3.5 sacks last year. This guy should be dominating with the guys that he has on his team. And I go, I got it. And my rebuttal to that was, well, Micah Parsons never had 13.5 sacks in college, but you sometimes, in college they play you out of position and you're not able to really shine. I think if Nolan Smith goes to the right spot, I think he'll be okay. I get it. He only had 3.5 sacks. And sometimes it's hard to get on the field because you're playing on an all-star team where everywhere you get limited playing time. So with that, you don't really get your stats up. So
yeah, Nolan got hurt this year too.
Yeah,
You probably didn't like my Eagles pick. You probably not gonna like my Eagles pick then.
Oh boy.
yeah. So
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So I
know
get
you like
it.
that one.
I get it. I get it. And like I said, I really debated Jahmyr Gibbs here because I think that they need a 1-2 punch. Who's the running back for the Jags? The guy that got
Travis
hurt.
Etienne.
Travis Etienne.
Etienne. Can you imagine him and Gibbs and Etienne? I think that I nearly gave him there. I'm trying to hold off a little bit, but
That's going to get real expensive in 5 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You already spent the first.
Years, so.
Yeah, you already spent the first round pick on the running back. I nearly wanted to do that, so that's why I didn't do that there. That was my reasoning behind it. Moving over to the New York Football Giants. Mona, who was the coach of the year last year?
I don't know that
Who was the coach of the year?
Let me think. He was a bust.
I don't know. A couple of years ago, I heard he was just the worst coach in the league. He was a terrible offensive coordinator. And then all of a sudden, he goes and gets a head coaching job, and he's the coach of the year. So makes Daniel Jones look like Eli Manning.
You're not talking about Dable, are you?
I just kept hearing this. It couldn't have been him because I just heard he was an absolute this ass of a coach, and I don't know. It can't be him. But anyways, I jest.
No, you don't.
I'm not joking at all. I'm dead serious.
There were Eagles fans who were trying to say Sirianni should have won. I'm like, nah, Brian Dable deserved that.
What he had over there, and this is as Mona. I see once again, me and you, we're different people, but the same position.
No, you went offensive line. I went wide receiver.
Jalen Hyatt's not. Jalen Hyatt's wide receiver.
Yeah,
you're right. I forgot to change it. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Jalen Hyatt, speed. Now the Giants have missed the Giants just can't seem to get the wide receiver position right. When they draft a guy, he's either injury prone. Evan Ingram, the tight end, who has wide receiver skills, he couldn't stay healthy. Sterling Shepard couldn't stay healthy.
They trade one that makes buku money and can't do anything.
Kadarius Toney couldn't stay healthy. Kenny Golladay sucked. They've thrown all of these things at the wide receiver position.
They're trying.
They are trying. Kadarius Toney leaves. You trade him to the Chiefs, and as soon as he goes to the Chiefs, he wins the Super Bowl. So I gave them a weapon. I think that they, really all that they have over there is Saquon Barkley. That's really all that they have. I gave him a weapon. Now he's not a number one, but he will scare the living daylights out of any defense. You have to know where this guy is at all times because he will bump his head on the goalpost if you're not paying attention to him. He is a burner. Speed demon. Now he's not a great route runner. He doesn't run the route tree. I would say he's a Will Fuller, Gabe Davis kind of guy. He's not gonna run the whole route tree. He's gonna run fly routes all day and maybe a post route. That's it. But that's enough to keep guys out of the box against Saquon Barkley if Saquon Barkley comes back because they put him on the franchise tag. So give me Jalen Hyatt out of Tennessee.
Well, I went with Quentin Johnston. Listen, this guy is 6'3", 208 pounds. What I really like about him, he's got he's got a desired blend of size, length, and speed. Um, he's consistent in catching the ball. He does run good routes. He's got some really long strides. If he gets out in the open, he's gone.
Yeah.
You miss that block, and he's scoring a touchdown.
Say bye bye. Say bye. I say bye bye.
What I really like is the separation speed after the catch. Holy cow, this kid is fast. Once he catches the ball, man, he turns on the afterburner. That's what I like about him. Some of the things I don't like about him. He doesn't always use his size to create leverage. He reminds me a little bit of Chase Claypool. But like I said, I like his ability. If he gets out in the open, he's gone. And I think Danny Dimes could use that. So
Okay. Jared, any issues with these picks?
I think wide receiver is pretty much for the most part the rational move for the Giants here. I like Jalen Hyatt. I have him as a top 75 player. I don't have him in my 50. I think like I strongly compared him to Robbie Anderson or Chosen Anderson. I think he's like a Robbie Anderson clone almost.
Okay.
And he is a football fast guy. Like he didn't have a crazy like 40 time, but he is fast on the football field. He's a perfect example of like those combine numbers.
Do you agree with my Will Fuller comparison?
Yeah, Will Fuller, Robbie Anderson, Jalen Hyatt, they're all very similar players.
Okay.
And then obviously I love Quentin Johnson.
Yeah.
So
he would he would definitely be their number one.
I would be mad if the Giants got him. So with Quentin Johnson, if you follow my countdown I do for the draft, shout out to you guys for letting me put it in the group.
Oh, no doubt. We appreciate that.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. I don't think I agree with you. There's no generational talent. So he's the one guy I think that can truly be among that elite group of active wide receivers. The biggest thing with Quentin Johnson for me is high pointing. If he's not good at high pointing, which you're 6'3", 208, that's something you've got to get used to. Like you got to get good with that. Other than that, I think he's very well rounded. He's a perfect size to where he's not too big that it affects his route running or his athleticism too much.
Yeah.
So I think he's like an ideal perfect size. He's got good hands, but again, he's just got to get better at those jump balls, those 50-50 balls, just high pointing ball in general. And I think he could be an elite player. So exactly. I would be mad.
Love it. Because that's why I have an issue with him. The jump off and being able to jump up and fight to get that damn ball. But like I said, once he catches the ball, the separation that he creates is just crazy. Dalton says they finally got rid of the Mr. $72 million man.
Oh, Kenny Golladay.
And Kenny Golladay was really good on the Lions too. That's why it's so confusing and annoying. He was very good on the Lions.
I think he got paid, and I think the dude just, I don't know. And then at the time, Daniel Jones was just garbage. But then Daniel Jones played well last year. He was still on the team, and he still couldn't do anything.
Quarterback whisperer came in.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to
who would you take for the Giants, Jared?
I would take Quentin Johnson if he was there. That'd be my pick for them.
Okay.
Moving on to my Dallas Cowboys, and I was devastated. My feelings were hurt. I felt like my heart was ripped out of my chest. I think I've made it abundantly known that I really want Bijan Robinson, but I think I've also I try to be realistic. I try to be realistic, and I just don't see him surviving the 26. I just don't see it. I'm being realistic. Would I love to have Bijan Robinson, keep him in Texas? I would love it. I don't see how, when you have teams with multiple first-round draft picks, like the Lions, like the Eagles, like the Seahawks, I just don't see how he makes it. Now, I know the Seahawks, they got Kenneth Walker, but I just don't see how he makes it past those teams. The Chargers, I don't see it. So what I did is I strengthened the strength. I nearly took Jahmyr Gibbs here as well, but the Cowboys do not miss on first round offensive linemen. If you look at their recent first round linemen, going all the way back to 2011, Tyron Smith, I think he's a future Hall of Famer. He's still on the team. Left tackle now, he's near the end, but he's still on the team. I think he's the longest tenured Cowboy. I think he's the longest tenured Cowboy. 2013, they drafted a guy like the center. Travis Frederick had a short career, had an injury, had to quit. But when he was playing, he was a dominant center. 2014, you draft Zach Martin. He's still on the team. First round picks, they hit on him. They just drafted another first round pick. They drafted Tyler Smith out of Tulane last year. I think
a lot of people criticized that pick because they just didn't know who Tyler Smith was.
He was, and he's solid. He played outstanding. I'm keeping him at left tackle, and I'm making Tyron Smith my swing tackle because he's going to get hurt. He hasn't played a full season since 2016. He's going to get hurt. Now, he took a pay cut to stay on the team. I like his experience. I like his leadership, but his body is starting to break down. I would keep Tyler Smith at left tackle, and I would bring in, and you have a plug and play guy right here. You plug him in right at left guard, and now you're starting offensive line. Tyler Smith, Osiris Torrance, Tyler Biotis, Zach Martin, and Terrence Steele, with that you have a top 3 offensive line. Now he is a big man. He is a huge man. I think the Cowboys want to get back to running the ball, playing smash mouth football. I nearly went Steve Avila here out of TCU. I like him too. I think he's a little bit more nimble. I would not be surprised. He was one of the 30 for 30 visits. I also nearly went Jahmyr Gibbs here. I think that'd be a nice 1-2 punch with Tony Pollard and him. But I'm sticking on the offensive line. And I gave them Osiris Torrance and plug and play at left guard.
Okie dokie. Well, you're welcome for Micah Parsons last year. That's who I had y'all selecting.
Yes, you did. I wanted Patrick Surtain, but thank you very much.
I tried to tell you didn't want Patrick Surtain. You wanted Micah Parsons. And I said that from before we even did a draft show.
Yes, you did.
I wouldn't give you Patrick Surtain because you was trying to take Najee from me.
Yes, he did. But it's okay. Yes, he did. But that's okay.
I don't know why. Kind of had a dream. Granted, I was on some pretty good drugs. It was after I had a heart attack.
Okay, Martin Luther King.
John Robinson went to Dallas. But I also, in the back of my mind, keep seeing that Miles Sanders exit from the Eagles. And if we don't trade up and get the 10th pick, I think that the Eagles actually take Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, I just don't see him being there. I want him, but I just don't see him.
If that happens, I'm going to give you Jahmyr Gibbs.
Oh, my goodness. It's beautiful.
So there you go. That's my 2 picks for Dallas.
I will say this. If I get Bijan Robinson, my birthday is next Thursday. If I get Bijan Robinson on Thursday next week, which is my birthday, April 27th, that's my birthday, the first round of the draft, no one has to do anything for me for the rest of the year. Happy birthday, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy 4th of July. You don't have to cook me Thanksgiving. Mona, you don't have to send me one of your snack boxes on Christmas. I will be happy as a pig in slop for the rest of the year. I really will be.
I get that, and I'm paying attention.
What you
hell, you never know, I may not be here for Christmas, though.
You ain't going nowhere, Mona. You ain't going. We ain't letting you go nowhere. Jared, what you got? What you got?
I like Osiris Torrance. I agree with everything you were saying about how y'all draft linemen and how they panned out. I mean, where did I have him? 28th, so it's very close to the value for my board. Bijan Robinson would obviously be a fantastic pick there. I have you guys getting Jahmyr Gibbs in my mock draft, obviously because Bijan's not there. But yeah, that's a solid pick. If you're not going to go running back, then interior offensive lineman would be great for you guys.
Just don't be shocked if Dallas moves up in the draft. Just say
And I would not have a problem if they get Bijan Robinson. You're basically getting 2016 Zeke. If you had 2016 Zeke with this Cowboys team, look out. Look out. Because now your play action, we've seen CeeDee Lamb become a number one wide receiver. I love them picking up Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks, legit number two. I think Michael Gallup, I think he was still kind of gimpy from the torn ACL. People
Y'all have
keep
Jalen Tolbert sitting there
Jalen. So
too.
I was just about to mention him. Jalen Tolbert. I'm gonna post up some videos of him. He's looked really good.
I think I had him 47 overall on my board last year.
Yeah, I think this year, another year, under his belt, I think you see this guy kind of start to Semi Fehoko. People keep forgetting about him. That wide receiver room is going to be. You talk about some competition, and then I like the two rookie tight ends that they got last year, Ferguson and Hendershot. I think now they did lose Dalton Schultz, but just reman that offensive line.
I could also see you guys getting Darnell Washington. Now that you said that, I forgot that was the other guy that I think that you guys could get too.
Yeah. I've seen some mock drafts with him. So
he's my number 2 tight end, but he's probably end of first, early second.
And see, he's another one that I've had people. Marcus, what do you think about this guy? I have some people that have Michael Mayer as the best tight end, and then I had a lot of people that said Kincaid was number 2. Me and you, we went back and forth with this with the Darnell Washington and the Michael Mayer Gronkowski comparisons.
Yeah, just comparisons.
Yeah, body.
We both like both players.
Yes, yeah. So so we'll see. Mona, if I get Bijan Robinson, I'm going to go get my damn jersey that same day. I will go get me a Bijan Robinson. I will be at we have a Cowboys shop here at the mall, and I will be down there and I will be getting my Bijan.
You just go ahead and get my TJ Watt jersey then.
I got you. What we got next here? We got Buffalo Bills. What's up, Monster? I see you in there, man. I see my guy, Monster McDowell. So, look, this draft. Once you start getting when you start getting to the back of the first round, you're kind of the prospects aren't as what I'm saying. They're not like the blue chippers. You got the guys here, the top 5 guys, top 10 guys that you just know are the top 10 guys. Now you're taking kind of dart throws. It's the gift and the curse because you had a good record. You're 12-5, or you're 13. You're 12-5, 13-4. So you're at the back of the first round. You're trying to find good players that can come in because it's a first round pick, and you want to try to find starters. Now, I was torn here. I saw mock drafts again. Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't think that the Bills go first round. I think James Cook. I'm not totally sold on it. I think that getting Harris helps. He's going to be your short yardage guy. Once they get on the 1 yard line, I want to see it where Josh Allen is not having to run as much, not having to do as much, not taking all of those hits. Offensive line has been an issue. Now, Steve Avila, I've watched this kid. I also nearly gave them Drew Sanders, the linebacker. They lost Trey Edmonds. I nearly gave them a middle linebacker here, but I gave them fortify that offensive line. They kind of got pushed around in the Cincinnati game. You got pushed around in the Cincinnati game, lost by 17 points at home in the snow. I want to see Buffalo getting. You're a cold weather team. You gotta in the cold weather. You gotta be able. You can't have Josh Allen throwing the ball around. You got to get in the mud and you got to play physical football. You got to play physical football. You look great in September and October when it starts getting cold outside and it's snow on the ground and the ground is frozen. You got to have guys up front that can get down in the mud and run the football without your quarterback. So I gave you a guy who I really like. I've watched this guy here in Texas, TCU, Texas Christian. I gave you Steve Avila, but I nearly gave you Drew Sanders. Mona, go ahead. What's going on, Chocolate Girl? Mona, you there?
I am. I couldn't
Okay.
get. For some reason, I kept pushing unmute and it
Oh.
wouldn't unmute. All right. I was getting ready to send you a message thinking, God, I'm frozen.
Oh, okay.
I gave them some defensive tackle, Brian Breesy. I do think they need some more help on that defense. And this kid, he's 6'5", almost 6'6", 298 pounds, and I like this kid. He's very broad, but he's very athletic. He has that great stutter step, and then be able to strike and hit a player, and I like that. Um, he actually kind of reminds me of a young Cam Hayward.
Okay.
And I think he would be a great fit. I think he would help that defense. I think that they addressed, the running back issue with bringing Damian Harrison in as the running back. I think their running back core is going to be pretty set. I do think they could also take a damn wide receiver.
Yeah.
Because I think they truly need a true number two. And
Yeah.
I don't think they have that on the team yet. I just don't.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going defensive tackle, Brian Breesy. And like I said, I really like this kid.
Okay.
And I hate Clemson, by the way. Just so you know.
Yeah. I know it has Steve Avila as a center here. He's projected as a guard in the NFL. A lot of times he's got, they come out and like, okay, this is what I'm going to project to in the pros. What you got, Jared? What do you think about this?
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know, if he was going to play center or guard.
He's
I would think he would play guard.
Yeah.
If it was a center, I would say that John Michael Schmidt should, in my opinion, should absolutely be the first center off the board. I'm not super high on Steve Avila. I don't think he's a first round talent, but I also don't think he's that bad. I have him in my top 100 at least.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't think it'd be a terrible pick. I think for the Bills, they're three big needs right now. They don't have many needs. They're getting older, so they're gonna soon. But I think it's interior offensive line, defensive tackle, and linebacker.
Yeah, that's what I was saying with the Drew Sanders. What do you think's more of a need, guard or linebacker? I nearly pulled the trigger on Drew Sanders.
I like Drew Sanders a lot. He's my number 2 linebacker.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like the Brian Bresee pick. One of my many hot takes for the draft season. I have a lot of them usually every year. He's my number 1 DT. I have him over Jalen Carter, to be honest. I like them both a lot. They're both in my top 15. But yeah, I think that would be a fantastic pick.
If Jalen Carter doesn't have the off the field issues, is he hands down the best defensive player in this?
Oh, I don't even factor him, that stuff into with the rankings, at least for me, for my board, at least. Because I think Brian Bresee is a better player than Jalen Carter, not by the tiniest of margins.
Okay, I had got a slide, and they said that Lucas Van Ness. I forget. Mona, was that you that sent that to me? Where Lucas Van Ness, they gave him some folder, and they put $100 bill in it, and he kept the $100 bill, and they took him off. I'll post it up.
Yeah, I didn't send it.
You didn't send that? I got it. I'll have to dig it there.
But I do really like Lucas Van Ness.
I know you do. So that's Buffalo Bills. I'm surprised none of my Buffalo Bills people, but we'll put it up and they can see it. So jumping over to 28, number 28. Who we got at 28? We got the Bengals. Look, I have been very, very vocal about the Bengals' weaknesses. I think they have a all-world offense, and I nearly gave them Jahmyr Gibbs here too, because I'm like, okay, you just lost Samaje Perine. Joe Mixon's getting a little bit older. But I think that they need help on the defensive side of the ball. I nearly paired up Jahmyr Gibbs with Joe Mixon here, but I was still surprised, and Lucas Van Ness was still on the board. So I gave him, a guy with a nonstop motor. I've seen this guy mocked all over the place from top 12 to top 20 to barely in the first round. So I gave them Lucas Van Ness. I think, in that division, you got it's a hard nosed division. They really don't have a star player on here on their defense. I mean, they're all offense. All of their best players, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Joe Mixon.
Read my gift.
Okay. I think that they need a difference maker on the defensive side of the ball. I saw Mona. I just peeked it out of the corner of my eye. I saw that you gave them Brian Burns. Brian Burns has already gone off of my board. I don't have an issue with that. I'll let you elaborate on that when you go. Losing a guy like Jesse Bates, but I just thought that having a difference maker on the defensive line would be a little bit better for them. You got a guy, nonstop motor, ultra aggressive, lunch pail kind of guy. He brings his lunchbox every day, hard worker, first in the building, last out, hustle. You see here, I mean, it's a defensive lineman 30 yards down the field. And then when you see him over here, you see him over there land, putting a good lick on the quarterback. And he's look at this on special teams, blocking, a punt. I'm just nonstop motor, effort guy.
Yeah, he got 2 punts in the same game.
Yeah, so that's what I gave them. I think that they need a guy like that. We know when we think of the Cincinnati Bengals, we know offensively they're going to light things up. They're going to throw the ball all over the field, but I think that they need a guy on the defensive side of the ball who's a difference maker over there. So yeah, Lucas Van Ness for me. Mona, your thoughts on Lucas? And I know Iowa's uniform damn near
I
looks
think
like
I think he's going to be gone at number 17. If we trade up, and we keep our number 17 and trade the 32nd pick away,
jump back.
I think he's gone. I think we take him. I think he goes opposite to TJ Watt.
So you get Joey Porter at 17, and then what at 32? You use the 32, and so you give up your.
We're moving up. I'm telling you, we're moving up.
Okay.
We are moving up. I don't know if we're going to move up to 9 or number 10, but I think that's when we get Joey Porter. And I think if we trade up, I think we use the 32nd pick instead of the 17th pick because we need some strong defensive help. Okay. I think that Lucas Van Ness very well could go at 17 if he's not gone before that, because I think I actually have him going before. Let me see where I have him going. I had him going to the Packers. Remember?
Yes.
And
yes,
he is a Packers style type defensive player.
No doubt about it. Yeah, he's already gone in your chart. Talk to me about Brian Branch, Mona.
They just lost a safety, correct?
Jesse Bates, yes.
Yeah. And I think that that's a huge need that they need. Get this young kid. I like Brian Branch. He's got great feet. He can change direction at the drop of a dime. If you go back and watch some of his highlights last year, that I think that you're gonna. He is a ball hawk. He reminds me a lot. His movements, his ability to jump off the snap when the quarterback is snapping the ball, the center snapping the ball to the quarterback. He's already moving because he's got an instinct that I really like.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Dalton says in the comment section, sorry to cut you off, Mona, Daxton Hill out of Michigan last year. I forgot that they had drafted him. But Jesse Bates was he was basically there. I thought he was the best player on their defense, to be perfectly honest with you. Have you heard the Honey Badger comparisons for Brian Branch, Mona? Have you heard any? I keep hearing.
Have, and like I said, I watched a lot of college football games last year, in which I did notice he has some Honey Badger type moves. And look, I'm gonna tell you something right now. Don't be shocked if Kansas City moves up in this draft.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, we're picking last any damn way. It's like what's moving up 2 or 3 more spots. What's who cares? It's like, we're getting the guy that we want. We'll move up 2 or 3 spots. I keep saying
a couple of positions that they really need to
Yeah.
fill on the Chiefs.
Bengals, I also kind of looked at offensive line. I think that they've done enough in the offseason. I wouldn't be surprised if they still just kept, getting offensive linemen in there. Joe Burrow, they've got to do a better job of protecting Joe Burrow. They've made an effort. I don't want to discredit what they've done. Going out and getting our guy from the Cowboys, getting Collins, and then getting Orlando Brown from the Chiefs this year. They're making efforts. It's just still, I don't like all of the hits that Joe Burrow's taking. I think he's the second best quarterback in the league after Patrick Mahomes, but he cannot keep getting hit the way he's getting hit. So I gave him a defensive player just because I think that they've done it. But if there's
And I'm gonna make a comment about them getting rid of Orlando Brown too. There was a reason why they got rid of him.
Yeah. Well, his money. They paid him a whole.
Trust me, it wasn't just money.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if they went here. I see Dalton says here they also lost Von Bell. So yeah, I could see safety here. I could see if there's still a corner here, Cam Smith still left out there. I'm not sold on Eli Burnt Apple. This guy gets cooked all the time. If they're able to upgrade at the corner position, I
don't feel like there's a lot of corners available.
This is not a very big big cornerback draft. It's a very weak cornerback. I mean, your 2 starters, Chidobe Awuzie, he used to be with us. He just can't track the ball. And Eli Apple, I think he's absolute garbage. I think he talks a lot. The way he's talking, the way that hearing Eli Apple talk, you would think that he's like Revis or Deion Sanders. It's like, dude, you're lucky to still be in the league. So, Mona, I like your pick there, Brian Branch. But like I said, I could see offensive line if there's still an offensive lineman there. If a Cam Smith, one of those guys falls back, I could see him there. What you got, Jared?
So actually, for me, D end and safety are 2 positions I don't think they go in those directions, just because D end, they already kind of have a log jam there. They have the 2 starters, Sam Hubbard and Trey Hendrickson.
Oh, by the way, Jared, before you finish that, I seen on a Cincinnati Bengals post that there is talks of them actually getting rid of Joe Mixon.
Ooh.
They're going to cut him?
He's one of the higher paid backs in the league.
I would imagine they'd have to trade him. There's no way. How would they? They can't
I think
cut
they
him.
were going to trade him.
Trade would make sense.
I meant trade.
I could see it.
And that's why also, like I said, I was looking at maybe a Jahmyr Gibbs here. I'm doing this under the assumption that they still have Joe Mixon, so that's why I made my move.
Yeah, that's how I would do it.
Yeah,
as well.
and this is why, and I'm letting y'all know. Probably Wednesday, I'm going to release my final draft. I'm going to go to PFF.com, and we'll talk about it after the show. But I think that there's going to be some more moves made right before the draft. I think you got to get this whole Aaron Rodgers situation figured out with the Jets and Packers.
Tell me something.
Yes.
Looking at that Lucas Van Ness picture, doesn't that just remind you of TJ Watt?
It does. I mean that the Iowa
Reminds me of Sean Oakman.
Hawkeyes. Uh,
He's
I-
a
Iowa
man without
Hawkeyes.
that helmet too. Let me tell you.
Yeah, it's just everything that it looks exactly like it. So the Bengals can go a lot of places here. And like I said, on Wednesday,
Do you think they're going to go offensive?
So yeah, with the Bengals, the DN, I don't think they're gonna go DM because of the logjam already with those two starters there, and then they drafted Joseph Osai, who's looked good so far. So they already kind of have a logjam there. And then safety, I don't think they go safety either. They lost Jesse Bates and they let Von Bell walk, but I think that's because they drafted obviously Daxton Hill. He's going to be the free safety. And then they actually drafted Tyson Anderson too in the third round last year, and they like him. So I think that's why they were comfortable letting Bates and Von Bell walk because they have those two.
Right.
So I think for them, my brain would tell me absolutely 100% you go get an offensive lineman for some spot on the offensive line. You protect Joe Burrow, done. My heart would tell me to go corner. And other than that, I don't think they really have many needs right now. They really just need corner and offensive line to me. And they're pretty set. I forgot who they picked. They picked up somebody at tight end, I believe, right?
I would
Unless
have to check it.
they still have Hayden Hurst.
No, Hayden Hurst is gone.
Oh yeah, he was on the Falcons. I don't know. I think they picked up somebody, but other than that,
Hayden Hurst is gone.
I think it's just corner and offensive line for them.
And again, if a guy like Darnell Washington drops, I can see a
Yeah.
guy like Darnell Washington there. You pair Darnell Washington with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. Whew, good luck, man. Good luck. So all of these teams, and I kept
Hey,
not
Hurst to the Panthers.
Yep.
what's that now?
He went to the Panthers, Hayden Hurst.
He went to the Panthers? Okay.
Yeah.
So I finally got Jahmyr Gibbs off the board. I don't know what is going to happen with Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara will be suspended this upcoming season. And if you watch the video, I don't know if y'all watched the video. If so, I'll post it up in the group. It looked bad. It looked bad.
I haven't seen the video.
When the show's over, Mona, I'll send it to you. And when you see this video, it's going to totally change your mind on. And I've always liked Kamara. You know, I know he started at Alabama and was in a loaded backfield. You know, couldn't get on the field. You had Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs and all those guys there. He just couldn't get on the field.
Like the guy in the Walgreens or something.
No, I think he punched like a taxi driver or something like that. Like him and his boys jumps, and he threw a couple of licks too, and then he was bragging about it. And I just think that, you know, I think when the commissioner does make his decision, they're going to make an example out of him. Now, we just saw a guy get 6 games for gambling, and you're bragging about punching some guy in the face and all of your entourage beating the crap out of somebody. I could see a 6 to 8 game suspension from what I saw in that video. So Jahmyr Gibbs, SEC guy, right over there next to Alabama. Now they did pick up Jamal Williams. I just think that this is great value. That's not Jahmyr Gibbs. That's somebody from Utah, but
That's Kincaid in the picture.
That's not Jahmyr Gibbs. That's not Jahmyr
Sorry,
Gibbs.
I apologize. I just forgot to change the.
Okay, so yeah, I got Jahmyr Gibbs, and I just think that
And I knew that was Jahmyr Gibbs. I actually have his picture. I just forgot to remember.
I think Alvin Kamara might not be on the Saints here real soon because I don't know from what I see. And then they just picked up Jamal Williams. He's going to probably be their short yardage guy. That'll be a thunder and lightning type package. So yeah, I gave them Jahmyr Gibbs. And again, Jahmyr Gibbs has been another person that's been really hard to mock.
I don't think the 2 running backs fall this low.
And I don't either. That's what I'm saying. I said I can see Jahmyr Gibbs here. I can see Jahmyr Gibbs here. I can see Jahmyr Gibbs here. But I was just like, he's going to be a first round pick, I believe. And I just thought it was too good of a deal to be there. If he fell to the last pick, I could also see a team like you know, if the Eagles go I don't know, Jalen Carter with the 10 pick and Jahmyr Gibbs is still there at 30, I could see the Eagles taking him. So he was just too good to pass up here, so I gave him to the Saints. Go ahead, Mona.
Well, I went defensive tackle, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to chop this kid's name up, so I just call him AA.
Double A. Let's call him Double A. Let's call him Double A.
There you go. We'll call him Double A.
Double A.
Yeah,
Because AA, we don't want to call him Alcoholic Anonymous.
you're right. 6'2", 282 pounds. I just really like this guy, and I think he would be a great fit with New Orleans.
They got a lot of holes over there. I really think it. And Mona, I like the defensive tackle. They picked up a wide receiver.
You're not going to try and pronounce his name?
No, no, I don't think I want to do that.
Double A.
We're Double A. We won't call him AA because we might get sued by alcoholics.
You call him Double A because that's who you get.
Yeah, we can call him Double A. They're getting a little bit older on the defensive side of the ball. Who was the wide receiver that they picked up last year? He was in the running for the. Who was the wide receiver that they drafted?
What I like about this guy,
Chris Olave.
Chris Olave, yeah.
He engages really well. He's great, good explosiveness in his upper and lower bodies. I mean, he's just not just his legs, but
built kind of thick. Built kind of thick there.
Yeah, and like I said, he's like 6'2", 282, something like that. And he uses every bit of leverage and hip strength that he's got when he's trying to press in.
Yeah.
And he can redirect blocks like crazy. So he's the only thing I don't like. He lacks the height and length of a defense man, really.
Yeah.
But he's so full of fire. When you watch him on the field, he just makes you want to like him. So
and he'll be playing he would be playing probably
I'm
like
not
in
a
a
great
rotation.
Western fan either, but I actually watched a few of their games last year, and he
stood out to you.
Breaking ball on defense, yes.
He'll be, as a rookie, he'll be next to Cam Jordan. Cam Jordan will toughen him up a little bit. So,
yeah.
So, Jared, what you got?
I think they're starting to prepare for life after Alvin Kamara for sure, because the writing's on the wall. Jamal Williams just got signed.
Yeah.
Their boiling point has to come up soon, and I think they're just waiting until all his stuff gets figured out to trade him, obviously. So Jahmyr Gibbs, I don't think would be a bad pick here. He was very hard for me to not include him in my top 50. He was literally 51. I debated so bad with 50, who I put at 50 and 51.
Yeah,
it was very hard. So I like Jahmyr Gibbs. So I don't think that would be a bad pick, getting him with Jamal Williams.
Mm-hmm.
I have a strong Jamal Charles comparison to Jahmyr Gibbs, and I do think the end wouldn't be a bad thing to address too, because Cameron Jordan's only getting older. They
got rid of Marcus Davenport too, right?
Yeah, they got rid of him, and they got rid of Trey Hendrickson like 2 years ago. So
yeah,
I think a D end wouldn't be bad. I'm not super high on double A batteries, but I don't think he's a bad player. I think somebody, for me at least, like an Andre Carter would be a good fit for the Saints. I like him a lot out of Army. I think he would fit well there. But the end they can go a lot of directions. They have a decent amount of needs. Yeah. They're really only good in the secondary for the most part. So I have them actually taking Osiris Torrance.
Oh, wow.
They can go offensive line too.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Dallas taken.
He was.
No, that was just my mock draft.
Yeah.
I have that. That's who I have them.
Dalton says, and Peyton Turner is a bust. I can't wait.
Yeah,
they
drafted him out of Indiana, one of those red uniforms.
Dalton says, I can't wait to see how Goodell or someone is going to pronounce Double A's name.
I don't think he's going to try.
We're gonna go with double A. That's what
We're
we're
gonna
gonna
go
say.
with the
What are you, double A
defensive end
batteries? We
I
can call
want
them.
to
out of
see. I want to
Northwestern.
see him in a press conference, and that way he can just tell us what his name is, and that way I can maybe try and practice.
It sounds like something from Africa. So, everyone just call me double A. Everybody calls me double A. I feel you can call me double A. Don't try to make
I've
us
seen
like
it a
we
couple
will
times
murder
after
your
UFC
name.
fights where Joe Rogan can't pronounce the name. He just makes a bunch of sounds. He's like, "Duh," and just that's it.
Well, I just got the whole, me and Mona, we were talking about Osa Adigizua, and we finally got that. I was like, I had to kind of just like sound it out. I was
I
like,
still can't say it right. My country accent won't let me
it was
do it.
like, Marcus, you're gonna have to say this because I'm not even gonna try to.
I even tried. I did it like three times.
But I had to break it down like syllable by syllable. Osa, kind of spell it out like a certain way. Okay, the way
and it still didn't sound right,
yeah,
Jared.
yeah. So okay, so we got the Saints there. We're jumping over to 29.
Jared is not gonna like my pick on this one.
No, it's all right. No worries. No worries.
Eagles. Look, I don't know. And Jared, you're our resident Eagles fan here.
Dennis was.
I
Here.
don't, and Dennis is here for a little bit. I don't know. Are the Eagles really sold on the Kobe Dean? Are they sold on?
Yeah, I think so.
They
They haven't
are?
gave him a chance
I
yet.
think they
I
are.
love N'Kobe Dean. I can't wait for him to start, but we still need a linebacker.
Yeah. So I just didn't know if they were just super sold on.
No, he'll end up as our starting middle linebacker this year, but we need a replacement for Kaiser White, that opposite linebacker from Hassan Reddick.
So I gave you Trenton Simpson. Again, if a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs doesn't get picked up and you all go, I think with the first pick you can kind of splurge. I think you can go best available player, unless you say, okay, we draft. You guys have so many options. You could go Bijan Robinson at 10. You could go Jalen Carter if he's still there. And then with the 30th pick, you could just go best available player,
Exactly. It's like I said before, we have it's such a comfortable spot to be in as an Eagles fan right now.
It's a very good problem to have. I gave you a linebacker. It's going to be hard to crack the starting lineup on that Eagles team as a rookie. It's going to be hard. Now I know you lost Hargraves. And that sucks.
Just off about that because he should have come back to Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So I think this guy here, whoever's at 30, I think this is going to be more of a rotational player. And you guys, like I said, you guys got so many options. You can move all over the board. But I gave you Trenton Simpson. Talk to us about Kaylee Ringo, Mona.
I think it's Keeley.
Is it Keeley? Yeah,
it's Keeley, but I think it is pronounced like Kaylee Ringo.
Okay.
Yeah,
something like that. I don't know. Everybody pronounces it different.
I think it's actually Kelee.
It's Kele. It's the same thing there, except E instead of A. That's all.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love this kid. I love this kid, and I wouldn't mind if Pittsburgh took him. I would not mind. He's 6'2", about 205, somewhere around there. Fast as hell. He's done like a 4.3 40. I just really like him. He's elite size and strength for an outside, and I think you could actually even use him as a cornerback. He is just physically
6'1", right?
No, he's 6'2". He's 6'2",
oh my,
205 pounds, or 205 or 207 or something like that. But he is just, he just looks like he plays so effortless. Just to watch him play on the field. He plays great from the zone.
6'2". I didn't know he was that tall. That's pretty good for a corner. 6'2".
And listen, he's faster on the football field than his 40 time tells you, because he was like a high school track team champ, and he's got excellent recovery speed. So that's one of some of the biggest strengths I've seen in him. He's kind of has a you see all these young guys and you see them out there on the field and they need to learn a little bit of patience. He needs to learn that. That can be taught. That can be taught. You know, Troy Polamalu, when he first started in the league, he didn't have any patience. He had to be taught that he couldn't always just predict where the ball was going to be going. And what it was is he was watching where the ball was going to be going, but he was missing blocks because
he would fall for that first move, and he'd get beat a lot on the double moves. That's early in his career.
Early in his career. Well, his
Yeah.
first year, listen, we moved up to get him, and I can tell you, over half the damn Steeler fans after the first season was ready to see him just be cut. And I thought, no, I'm not ready for that, because what I saw was he was a ball hawk even from the get go. So I wasn't ready to see him be cut. But now there was a lot of Steeler fans who were not impressed. Hell, Cower wasn't impressed with him sometimes. You can see it up in his face, and you saw it spittle going everywhere.
Okay.
But yeah, I think he'd be a good fit with the Eagles. I really do.
Okay, Jared, I know you've already made your opinion about Ringo known, but go ahead.
Yeah, so in the ideal scenario, if I'm the GM for my team, the Eagles, I'm trying to get Joey Porter with that first pick for sure. Like that's what I'm going for. And then the second pick, I would want a linebacker as well. And Trenton Simpson wouldn't be a bad pick for me. I have 4 linebackers in my top 50. Noah Sewell well above all 3 of them.
Okay.
But then I have Drew Sanders, who's 31, and then I have Trenton Simpson, who's 33. So the value would be fine for me there. It would be a good pick.
I still had Sanders on my board. I nearly mocked him to the Bills.
Yeah, I would love Drew Sanders. I think Drew Sanders would be good for the Bills because he's very similar to like the Tremaine Edmonds. I think he is a lot of him is what people thought Tremaine Edmonds was going to be, with a better pass rush game. That's how I feel about Drew Sanders.
I actually thought we might go after Tremaine Edmonds, who I knew we weren't going to pay him the money he wanted.
Yeah, he's the highest paid linebacker. He jumped in front of Roquan Smith, didn't he? He's like the highest paid linebacker. Chicago had a lot of. I think Chicago had the most salary cap space, so they could afford it to pay.
They threw a lot just at linebacker.
Yeah, they did. So
they picked 2 of them.
The last pick of the draft, first round. Now, again, people, this is without we don't do trades in here. And Kansas City, they've surprised us every single time. You know, when you're picking last, you kind of take a dart throw.
I think I spelled his name wrong too.
It's Anton, and it's Harrison. It's Harrison too. Because I sent you Harris, so you were like, "Did you meet Anton?"
Picture. You sent me a picture. So
That's all me. I gave them an offensive line. I think I could also see them going defense here. If a guy like Cam Smith is here, if a guy like Brian Burns is there, I could see them. Now, in my draft, those guys were gone. But you protect Patrick Mahomes. They hit the ball out of the park with Pacheco last year. They hit the ball out of the park. They hit the ball out of the park. I think they got him in like the 5th round. I mean, this kid, he runs angry. You know, they got Kadarius Toney. I think this is the year you see him kind of take off. And Andy Reid's offense, with the Giants, they really just couldn't get him on track. I think he has. I'm not saying he's Tyreek Hill, but he has some Tyreek Hill in him. I think that they try to get him involved. He kind of came over late, but I think with a full training camp, Now, if they hadn't did that, I probably would have went wide receiver here, losing Tyreek Hill, but getting a Kadarius Toney, I think you see that, they're good at running back. If one of those tight end prospects falls, and I keep seeing Darnell Washington all over the place. If a guy like Darnell Washington's here, and I don't know if he will be, but we talk about Kincaid and we talk about Mayer. Washington's kind of a project, and I think if he were there at like 31 and getting to sit and play with Travis Kelce, but I went ahead and I gave him, kept it conservative. I gave him a big mauling offensive lineman, protect the franchise, Anton Harrison out of Oklahoma. What you got, Mona?
Well, I kind of felt the same. The only downside I feel like he has is his feet and his hands don't always work together. He's a little bit disjointed. And I've seen him miss blocks because his feet were digging, but his hand, it's like he had problems finding the guy with his hands. But in another aspect of it, he does seem to have a lot of patience waiting for that first hit. But like I said, he's kind of disjointed as far as his footwork and trying to grab with his hands. Just that's the only problem I had with him. He can get you
massive human being,
and even get to even the linebackers.
Yeah, massive human being. Massive human being.
Massive. I mean, he's 6 foot, 315 pounds.
Yeah, he's a big boy. I can see now. I have some people saying that Steve Avila is a second round pick. I like Steve Avila. I've watched a lot of tape on him. If Steve Avila slips, I could also see. I would have Steve Avila ranked a little bit higher than Anton Harrison. I could, I nearly in my mock draft, Steve Avila was already gone, but I could see Steve Avila there with the last pick. I could also.
I don't. Q asked if he felt like Jalen Hurts got paid too soon. I absolutely don't. And the thing is Lamar Jackson would have got paid before him, but Lamar Jackson and in the long run would have made more money than Jalen Hurts, but he turned that contract down, and that was crazy. But anyway, no, I don't think Jalen Hurts got paid too soon.
Yeah, they actually got it. They got out in front of it. They actually did the right thing because it's like when you identify your franchise quarterback, you get that squared away because there's still a lot of teams out there: Indianapolis Colts, Houston Texans. That are looking Minnesota Vikings, Carolina Panthers, Houston, Texas. They're looking for that quarterback and looking and searching and searching and searching. And it's like when you get that guy identified, pay him and surround him with some talent. What you got, Jared?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're in a conflicting spot where they're trying to figure out the whole Geno Smith thing and protecting him and helping him. But I feel like they also want to get back to their old ways of defense and just building a crazy defense. They're doing good so far. They have a really good secondary. They drafted 2 really good corners last year who played amazing. Tariq Woolen was in the race for defensive.
Well, we're talking about the Seahawks here?
Oh, yeah, it says the Seahawks. My bad. The Chiefs.
Oh,
Chiefs.
Okay.
It's kind of similar, too, though, in a way.
This the Chiefs. This the Chiefs pick. This the Chiefs pick, folks. Yeah, their last pick.
It's similar. It's very similar, I think.
Yeah.
Like they can go receiver. They can go off. I don't think they would go. I don't know. I think most of the offensive line they can go except center, and they only need 1 tackle because they got Creed Humphrey, who's a great center, and they still have what's his name, Orlando Brown.
No, Orlando Brown's gone. Orlando Brown went to the
who's their
Bengals.
They had I don't know. They picked somebody up or drafted somebody. I'm blanking out, but yeah, I mean, offensive line wouldn't be bad. They can go in a few directions.
Yeah, that's why I gave them that. That Orlando Brown. I think they'll figure it out. And I'm going to tell you something too. I don't know if they're done at wide receiver. I think that the DeAndre Hopkins ordeal is about to be resolved here pretty soon too. I don't believe that DeAndre Hopkins will be back with the Cardinals next year. And there was a video that I watched. I'll post it up, and he was kind of giving facial expressions. This reporter was asking, "He's like, would you mind going here? Would you mind going here? Would you mind going to the Bills? Would you mind going to the Chiefs?" I could see a scenario where DeAndre Hopkins ends up with the Bills or the Chiefs. If I'm him, I would go to the Chiefs. I know my Bills fans don't want to hear that. I think lining up next to Travis Kelce and playing with Patrick Mahomes and being in that offense with Andy Reid, that's what I would do. But if he went to the Bills too, on the other side of Stephon Diggs, I could see that too. So.
Yeah, I could see Quentin Johnson going at 31 too, just because they have a couple good receivers, but they don't have that like bigger body. They only have smaller guys like Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney.
I thought I sent him the link, but I may not. I might have his own name or something.
Well, we're about to get up out of here.
I think he just wanted to respond to the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, okay. If he's there, he can jump in real quick before we get ready to get up out of here. But I think you have some unresolved issues out there. Now, again, we did this draft. That's by the way, that's our last pick. That's number 31. Of course, you all know that there's only 31 first-round picks this year because the Miami Dolphins forfeited their pick with the tampering charges with Tom Brady. They were talking to Tom Brady while he was still under contract with the Buccaneers. So the NFL crashed down on them for that. So there's only 31 first-round picks when there's normally 32. But I think we got 6 days left. I think you can see some movement here. I think you see DeAndre Hopkins move. I think you see Aaron Rodgers move. I think maybe we might see Derrick Henry move. I think we might see Dalvin Cook move. So there's a lot of moving pieces over there. There's some unresolved issues. There's always something. A last minute trade. Somebody sees some player that we had projected as a 3rd round pick, and they pick him in the 1st round. Some guy who's a 2nd round pick that they pick in the top 5, some developmental player. I don't know if anybody saw Trey Lance going number 3 overall. I just didn't see it. You look back at some of these drafts, and we're looking back like, what the hell were they doing? Hindsight's always 2020. With the Jets have taken Sam Darnold at 3, with the Browns have taken Baker Mayfield at 1. So it's hindsight's always 2020. What's up, my guy? Q Ball's up in the house. While I got you here, brother, real quick, give me your thoughts on the Vikings draft. What you'd like to see, some pet cats that you got. I call them pet cats because that's the cat that you really like, the guy that you kind of got a bromance with. Is there somebody you got a bromance, something going on? Me and Mrs. Jones got a little thing going on. So somebody you got over there, the Vikings, that you got a crush on there, Q-Ball?
I mean, I don't like the shit that's speculating with trading Dalvin Cook. I don't think you trade a guy that done had 1,100 plus yards 4 years in a row. That shows production, and I think I'm not saying that my secondary guy. I'm not saying Madison came down, but that's my bro, man. It's like Dalvin Cook. I'm a Florida State fan, so watched them all through college, and it's just surreal to have him on the actual NFL team that I like. But right now, who I'm liking in the draft, who I would like them to make a move to be able to get, is Christian Gonzalez.
Okay. And y'all are picking where again? I have to go back to my notes.
At 23.
Yeah.
And I gave you Mona, who did you give them at 23?
Zay Flowers, same as you.
Me and Mona both gave you Zay Flowers. I just think with the loss.
I got Christian Gonzalez leaving.
Yeah, I got
I gave
Christian
him Cam
Gonzalez
Smith.
in the top. In the top. Yeah, I got him. I think I gave him to the Raiders. I think Christian Gonzalez is going to be way. I think y'all.
I think he's gonna be way on him and Witherspoon. I think they're gonna be well gone before.
Yeah. I think by 23 they'll be long gone.
Yeah,
But I just think that you got to get some help for Justin Jefferson because I think this year.
I don't think we really need help. I think with Adam Thielen out of the picture, I think that gives KJ opportunity to actually step up and show that he's that number 2 wide receiver.
Who's that? KJ Osborne? KJ Osborne?
I think that's going to give him the opportunity to step up and show that he can be that number 2 option. I think it's more of a later in the draft type of deal to find that 3rd wide receiver option, or maybe Jalen Reagor can come on and actually show what he can actually do with the speed that he has. It's more of for me. I'm looking for more of a defensive heavy draft. That's where I hurt the most. So I like the Byron Murphy Jr. Pickup. I like that through free agency. I like a few things that we did through free agency. I don't think that we did enough through free agency that we should have did to strengthen the team. But the moves we did make, I'm 100% content with them.
That's what's up.
I'm real happy with the moves that we made in free agency because this is the most moves I think we've made in a long time.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The best move you could have made, as far as Phillies, with the young secondary you had, bringing in that veteran at the cornerback.
Patrick Peterson. I talked about that, especially with losing Cam Sutton. I just thought that was getting a guy who's been an All-Pro. Is he what he was with the Arizona Cardinals? No,
You're never gonna be. But here's the thing I said about when we had him. We should have never had him playing that primary cornerback position.
He's not that guy anymore.
He should have been playing the nickel like Mike Zimmer did with Terrence Newman.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. He's not that guy anymore. But guys, we've been going here a little over 2 hours.
2 hours, 12 minutes.
2 hours and 12 minutes. I got to shut it down. My Grub Hub is here, and I'm starving. I didn't get a chance to eat.
What I tell you Wednesday night? Wednesday night. I said, you eat before the show? Because I'm telling you.
I start talking. Me and Mona start talking before the show, and next thing I know, I'm on the air for Jared. Last words. Tell them where they can find you. Our newest admin, Jared Muller, very knowledgeable, knows his stuff. College football guru, combat sports guru. Just me and him, we bang heads all the time, but I really enjoy going back and forth with him with competent debate where we
always have good debate.
It's not from a homer type place. I love debating, but when you're just talking, well, he's just better because he's on my team. I can't really. Debate.
I can't.
Yeah. So, and he's an Eagles fan. So for me, Gary, he's an Eagles fan, and
they paid Jalen too goddamn early.
You think so? I don't know. I think you go get your guy. You go get your.
Don't get me wrong. He put up hella good numbers last season, and he did what he did. Not taking it from him. You can't take away what's done. But I just think they pulled the truck up too early for him.
Well, actually, Lamar Jackson would have got paid first if he had accepted it. And Lamar Jackson, in the long run, would have actually made more money than Jalen Hurts did.
Yeah, this.
I just like it because the first 4 years are super cheap.
Yeah, you want,
that was a big part.
That's ideal with the contract. But what I'm saying is, I don't think the Eagles as a team is going to perform as well as they did this past season. This upcoming season.
That sounds like that's for another show. We got to get Jared. Where can they find you? Tell them what you do. tell them about the research and stuff you do for our group. I love what you do in there, breaking down individual players and stuff. Me and Mona really appreciate that. But tell them where they can find you and all of that good stuff, Jared.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the Alphabets group. Find me in there. I used to do a college football, well, football in general, but mostly college football and high school football podcast. I don't have time for the podcast anymore, but and I used to run a MMA podcast. So I
Okay.
still will put information out there. I do a countdown every year. That's what Marcus
Great
was talking about.
information. Great information. If you go on the Alphabets Football Show channel, Jared posts every day. He breaks down a player. I mean, does some.
Yeah, I do my
really
top
good work.
50 board. So I figure out what is the 50th day until the draft, and I go with the 50th player on the 50th day, so on and so forth, until the last day is my number one player. I give a little quick scouting report.
For sure. Cue Ball. As soon as the show's over, I got to go, but hit me up in my inbox. Cue Ball, tell them where they can find you. Tell them about the NFC North stuff that you're doing. Tell them about yourself, man. Cue Ball, a friend of the show. Always love to see him come through. Always got an open invite. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Man, they can find me in NFC North, the Huddle. It's just mainly, kind of a trash talk, black and blue division, old school.
They talk real bad to be in there.
Good group of guys, man. I've met a lot of interesting people in there, a lot of knowledgeable people, and that's one of them. And then I also have my actual page, talking sports with Q, that I'm trying to jump off and get started, but I'm kind of at a limbo right now. I've been in 3 different countries in the last 3-4 months, so it's kind of hard to do things when you
got a place where if you need to drop something off and information. You're a friend of the show, man. We love you over here, man. We appreciate you, man. Miss Diehard, what you got?
Just want to thank everybody for tuning in and showing support and hopefully if you don't see us before preseason starts, then just keep us in mind. We'll be back.
We may be. I'm telling you right now, you won't see me on Thursday. Thursday's my birthday. I'm just letting y'all know I will not be around. I'm always around, but I won't be around. If that makes any sense.
He'll be around if he gets Bijan Robinson because he's going to be calling me up and saying thank you.
Yeah, I probably so. We have a competition. I'll make a reel for it. Mona, you pinned it, right?
Yeah.
The competition. Go to pff.com. I'll send the link on there. Give me your whole first round mock draft. It's free. Now it's going to say on there that they're going to charge you for it. That's for if you do the whole 7-round draft. Okay, just for the first round is free. So just go in there and ignore all that other stuff. You weren't the only one, Mona. Don't feel bad. You weren't the only one. They're like, yes, they said they're going to pay for it. No, it's free. It's only you have to pay if you do all 7 rounds. We're not going to do 7 rounds because that's just not going to happen. But go in there, turn in your mock draft. You go in there and you select. Just like we've been doing here, you can sit up there. It might take you 20 minutes and go through it. And whoever gets the most right, me and Mona, we're going to look through that. And whoever gets it, I'll send you a free Alphabets Football Show T-shirt. Don't ask me for them hoodies, man. Y'all be, can I get a hoodie? No.
Post your picks, a copy of your picks under the original post.
Yes. Don't go putting them all over the place where we're searching.
It's pinned in the
Yes.
So.
In the pinned comment and put it in there. It's a timestamp on it. Oh, and if you do it like the second day of the draft, you're not going to get credit for it because it's already just like we when we do our picks, it's the same difference. Do a first round mock draft. Whoever gets the most right, I'm going to post one in there because I'm probably going to change some of my picks by Wednesday, and then may the best person win. So I'll make a.
Well, I think you have to change some of your picks. Everybody's gonna have to. They're gonna have to go back and look at some
Well, then you better change. I haven't put mine up.
and all that.
Yeah, I haven't put because there might be some trades before then. You got to account for the trades. This whole thing with Jamison Williams, that's kind of changed the way I'm thinking about the Lions draft. But we'll see. I ain't gonna give you all of the goodies. I'm not giving you all the goodies. So I'll make a reel on that, and I'll let y'all know, and I'll give y'all the link for that. After this is over, guys, I'm gonna be gone. By the time the music's over, because I'm gonna go get my food. I really am hungry.
Yeah, same here.
But good night to everybody. Appreciate y'all. Everybody who supports the show. I see there's only one person here now, but appreciate you. The people who did come in, pop your head in. We always appreciate you, Jared and Cuba.
Thanks for having me.
Y'all have a good. Always welcome. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah.
See ya.